Hello guys, we are from group 1. We will present our presentation about global ethical and sustainable marketing. My name is Ikhsan Alviananta.
My name is Narendra Khrisna.
My name is Aliya Ramadhita Putri.
My name is Rafi Perkasa.
And my name is Osmond.
This is our outline presentation. The first topic is marketing on the global stage. The second topic is understand international, regional, and country global trade control. The next one is external marketing environment. And the fourth topic is global market entry strategy. The next topic is ethics in marketing planning. And the last one is sustainability. Marketing on the global stage. In the best-selling book, The World is Flat, A Brief History of the 21st Century, Thomas Friedman argued that technology creates a level playing field for all countries. Living in global community create opportunities and challenge. For now, living in global community, even small business must improve their business to attract customer. Next. World trade. World trade is refers to flow of goods and services among different countries. The total value discussed is the total value of all export and import of the world nation. The next one is counter trade. Counter trade is exchanging goods or services which are paid for in the whole or part with other goods or services rather than with money. Sufficient cash or credit simply not available. Next. There is a question, should we go global, go or no go? If go, which global market? And then what market entry strategy? And how do we develop successful marketing mix strategy in foreign country? Factor that influencing to go global is domestic demand and competitive advantage. Domestic demand is increasing demand declining when foreign demand. Competitive advantage if the selling value of good domestically is still high, why should we go global? Next. The second topic is understand international, regional, and country global trade. There is two organization in understand international, regional, and country global trade. The first one is General Agreement on Tariff and Trade, GATT. GATT is used to establish free trade among nations. And the second one is World Trade Organization or WTO. WTO is to set trade rules for its member nation and mediate disputes between nations. Next. Protect trade. There are three reasons to protect trade. The first one is import quota. Many governments set import quota on foreign goods. The reason is to reduce competition for their domestic product. And the next one is embargo. Embargo is extreme quota that prohibits commerce and trade with a specific country altogether. And the last one is tariff. Tariff is to give domestic competitor an advantage in the marketplace by making foreign goods more expensive. Next. And The last one is economics communities. Economics communities is group of countries may also band together to promote trade among themselves and make it easier for member nations to compete elsewhere. For example, is ASEAN and Andean community. Next.
Okay, so now I'm going to explain about the external marketing environment. It's very essential to understand about the external environment, whether your company decided to venture into a foreign market or not. Because if your company decided not to expand their business into a foreign market, just by having a sharp picture of the marketing environment, company can have good decisions about marketing strategies. And if a company decide to go international, can make a company understand the local conditions in a potential new country. So in this part, we're going to take a look at the economic, competitive, technological, political or legal, and social cultural factors in the external environment. So in the first one, we're going to take a look at the economic environment. In the economic environment, there are factors and trends related to the production of goods and services and income levels. For example, now we are in a pandemic situation that is very affecting the economics all countries around the world, where all the productions of goods and services fall drastically and millions of people lost their jobs, affecting their income level. And these are the indicators of economic health. The first one is GDP. It's the most commonly measurement that is used to measure economic health of a country. The next one is a forex exchange rate. It's the price of a nation's currency in terms of another currency. And the last one is economic infrastructure, refers to the quality of the distribution, financial, and communication system that supports the operation of a business. And there's a level of economic development. It's the broader economic picture of a country, whether it's a least developed country, which is a country that is economic based on agricultural, where the standards of living and the literacy level is still low, or if it's a developing countries, which is a country that is currently shifting from agriculture to industry, or a developed country which use industry as an economic base. The next one is the business cycle, describes the overall pattern of changes of an economy, whether the economic is experiencing cycles of prosperity, having a recessions, or having a recovery. Okay, so the next environment is the competitive environment. In this environment, marketers need to know and understand their competitive position among product alternatives. Marketers need to know who are the competitors and know what are they doing, monitoring their marketing strategies and try to predict their next moves. And there is competitive intelligence. It's the process of gathering and analyzing publicly available information about rivals from news, media, or the internet. The next one is competition in the micro environment. Marketers need to know discretionary income, product competition, and brand competition. Meanwhile, in the macro, there are 4 different market types that have a very different situation, which are monopoly, oligopoly, monopolistic, or perfect competition. The next environment is technological. As we all know, internet is one of the biggest technological change in marketing within recent times. The increasing computing and processing capabilities of personal computers is enhancing the efficiency and effectiveness of business. Technology improvement can spawn new industries, new business, or new products. Companies will be able to make products at lower cost and will be able to distribute them economically when supply chains become global. The next is politic and legal environment. Politic and legal environment refers to the local, state, national, and global laws and regulation that affects businesses. In legal, for example, there are laws that is made to make sure that business compete fairly, which are in America. For example, there are Sherman Antitrust Act and Wheeler-Lee Act. And for in Indonesia, the examples are Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Perdata, Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Pidana, and Kitab Undang-Undang Hukum Dagang. Meanwhile, in the political environment, political actions of a government can crucially affect global business operation. And at the extreme level is when 2 countries go to war, the environment changed dramatically. So there are nationalization is when a domestic government reimburses a foreign company. Expropriation is when a domestic government seizes a foreign company's assets without any reimbursement. And there is regulatory constraint on trades and human rights issues. And for the last one is the social cultural environment. It refers to the characteristic of the society, the people who live in that society, and the culture that reflects the values and beliefs of the society. There are demographics, which is the statistic that measure observable aspects of a population, such as population size, age, gender, ethnic group, income, education, occupation, and family structure. And there are cultural values, collectivist values, and individualist cultures. And there are also a special social norms, which is a specific rules that dictate what is right or wrong, acceptable or unacceptable within a society, that indicates what ways to dress and how to speak. And there are language and consumer ethnocentrism.
So next one is the global market entry strategy. Going global is not a simple task. Even well-known companies can have a blunder because it exceeds their family borders. When a company wants to expand to foreign markets or go global, they need to make important decisions, and one of them is their level of commitment. The company's level of commitment will determine the type of entry strategy to use. Next. So there are two crucial aspects, which is the decisions at the company level and also decision at product level. So for the company level, the market entry strategy, a firm must determine the level of commitment that they are willing to make in the foreign country. Each decisions relating to their level of commitment will create different trade-off between control and risk. For example, by having direct control, the firm will have a high amount of control of their activities in the foreign country. But at the same time, they will also create high risk as they are going solo in a foreign country and increases the chance of their expansion failing. Next. So there are 4 globalization strategies according to the level of involvement. The first one is exporting products. The level of risk is low, the level of control is low. They will try to sell their products independently or rely on export merchants. The advantage are low investment, which equals to low risk of financial loss, can control the quality of product, avoid difficulties of producing some products in other countries. And the disadvantage are may limit growth opportunities, will be seen as a foreign product in the eyes of the local people. Next. The second one is contractual agreements. The level of risk is medium, the level of control is medium. They will try to license, which is when a firm gives a permission to another firm to produce and market its products in a specific country or region in return of loyalties on the goods sold, or they will try to franchise, which is when a firm gives the permission to another firm to adopt their entire way of doing business in a specific country or region. The advantage are avoiding barriers to entry and limit financial investment that equals to limit risk. While for the disadvantage, lose control on how the products are produced and marketed, can destroy brand image, and also potential use of unauthorized designs, recipe, etc. Next. The third one is strategic alliances. The level of risk is also medium, the level of control is also medium, and they will try to join venture. It is when the firm and a local partner will pool their resources and work together. The advantages are easy to access to new markets, preferential treatment by local government and other entities. And for the disadvantage, it is high level of financial risk. Next. And the last one is direct investment. The level of risk is high, the level of control is high, complete ownership, and they will have complete ownership often by buying a local company. The advantages are complete freedom and control, and also avoiding import restrictions. And for the disadvantage, highest level of commitment equals to highest level of financial risk. And if the government is unstable, there is a potential nationalization. It is when the company is taken over by the government, so it changes from private assets to public assets. Next. The marketing mix strategies, standardization versus localization. Standardization sees the world as narrow, and it believes that basic needs and wants is the same everywhere. This is appealing to firms as it means there is large economies of scale because they are able to spread the cost of product development and promotional materials over many markets. And the example of standardization is Coca-Cola. The logo of Coca-Cola is the same in billboards in New York and in metal roofs in villages in Indonesia. Next. And for localization in the other hand sees the world not that small. You need to make products that suit the taste and culture of the customers in specific country or region. It argued that each culture is unique, and they have distinctive behaviors and characteristics. The example is when Al Ahram Beverage Company introduced its Rus brand beer alternative, which is super sweet, non-alcoholic malt beverage, which gained a success. In less than 5 years, they are able to take 12% market share from giants Coke and Pepsi. Next. So for the 4P's decisions, for the product decision, the first one, straight extension strategy. It retains the same product for domestic and foreign markets. The second one, product adaptation strategy. It recognizes that people in different countries or region have different cultures. That means different product preferences. The third one is product invention strategy. It is when a company develops a new product as it enters foreign markets. Some of this invention is backward invention. An example of backward invention is like because in some parts of the world, electricity is still difficult, an air conditioning company tries to figure out a way to make some kind of a air conditioning that does not require electricity. Next. The second one is promotion decision. A company must decide whether it is necessary to change the way they communicate to customers in the foreign market. The example is when Lipton Tea launched their first global campaign. Their main advertising star is Kermit the Frog with the slogan "Be More Tea." Although all over the world the slogan will be the same, only countries and regions where Kermit the Frog is famous will have Kermit as the advertising star. Next. The third one is price decision. Some countries have established free trade zones, which is areas where foreign companies can warehouse goods without paying taxes or customs. Competitors can find ways to offer product. Competitors can find ways to offer product cheaper, and one of them is through gray market goods. It is different than black market goods, and these are the goods that is legal to be bought and sold by an individual, but they are not from the official distributor. The example is like buying iPhone 11 from an unofficial distributor before it officially sold in Indonesia. Dumping is when company sell product lower than it is at home. The example is when Chinese companies sell garlic for a cheaper price in California, which is known to be a grower garlic state in the US. Next. And the last one is place decision. It is essential for a business to set up a reliable distribution system that can deliver raw materials to the factory and also products to customers effectively.
Okay, so the next one is I'm going to talk about the ethics in marketing planning. So the first one, I'm going to talk about the importance of ethics in marketing planning. There are actually many reasons, but I will notify some. So when an organization behaves ethically, customers develop more positive attitudes about the firm, its product, and its service. And ethical in marketing also can use to create values or trust between us and the key stakeholders. It also to build a good image about the organization in the minds of customers, employees, shareholders, and the society. And then the next one is ethical philosophy. So ethical philosophy is divided into 5 approach. So the first approach is utilitarian approach. Utilitarian approach is an ethical philosophy that advocates a decision that provides the most good or the least harm. The second one is rights approach. Rights approach is an ethical philosophy that advocates the decision that does the best job of protecting the moral rights of all. The third one is fairness or justice approach. Is an ethical philosophy that advocates the decision that treats all human beings equally. The fourth one is common good approach. So common good approach is an ethical philosophy that advocates the decision that contributes to the good of all in the community. And the last one is virtue approach. Virtue approach is an ethical philosophy that advocates the decision that is in agreement with certain ideal values. And what is ethical relativism? So ethical relativism suggests that what is ethical in one culture is not necessarily the same as in another culture. So in other words, what is right or wrong is relative to the moral norms within the culture. Next, please. So now I'm going to talk about ethical values. There are 6 ethical values. So the first one is honesty. Honesty before pride in dealings with customers and stakeholders. So to this end, we'll strive to be truthful in all situations and at all times. We also offer products of value that do what we claim in our communication and honor our explicit and implicit commitments and promises. The next one is responsibility. So responsibility accept the consequences of our marketing decisions and strategies. And to this end, we will strive to serve the needs of customers. We also avoid using coercion with all stakeholders. We also recognize our special commitments to vulnerable market segments such as children, seniors, the economically impoverished, market illiterates, and others who may be substantially disadvantaged. The next one is fairness. So fairness balances justly the needs of the buyer with the interests of the sellers. And we will represent products in a clear way in selling, advertising, and other forms of communication. And this also includes the avoidance of false, misleading, and deceptive promotion. We also seek to protect the private information of customer, employees, and partner in fairness. The next one is respect. So respect used to acknowledge the basic human dignity of all stakeholders. To this end, we will value individual differences and avoid stereotyping customers or depicting demographic groups such as gender, race, sexual orientation in a negative or dehumanizing way. And the next one is transparency. So transparency creates a spirit of openness in marketing operations. And to this end, we will strive to communicate clearly with all consistency, also explain and take appropriate action regarding significant product or service risks, component substitution, or other foreseeable eventualities that could affect customers or their perception of the purchase decision. And the last one is citizenship. So citizenship fulfill the economic, legal, philanthropic, and societal responsibility that serves stakeholders. So to this end, we will strive to protect the ecological environment in the execution of marketing campaign. We also give back to the community through volunteerism and charitable donation. Also urge supply chain members to ensure that trade is fair for all participants, including producers in developing countries. Next, please. Now I'm going to talk about the ethical issues in marketing. So I'm going to divide the issues in marketing into 4 P's of marketing mix. The first one is product. So the ethical issues that occurs in product usually related in consumer safety, product liability and reliability. And in product also include packaging. So some ethical issues that usually occurs in packaging, including label information, packaging graphics, packaging safety, environment implication of packaging. And from the second P of marketing, which is price, is bid rigging. So bid rigging occurs when conspiring competitors agree in advance as to who will win the bid for a contract, with the contract being led through the normal competitive bidding process. And also in price, ethical issue that common occurs is supra-competitive pricing. So supra-competitive pricing is pricing above what can be sustained in a competitive market. And the third P, which is placing or distribution. So distribution of product or service is transporting the product from manufacturer to stockists, wholesalers, retailer, and then to customers. So some of the ethical issues in the distribution is there are many retailers sells product that have cross expiry date, so it is unethical. And there are also paying vendors to carry a firm's product rather than one of its competitors are also unethical. So, and also products are moved in unsafe vehicles are also unethical. And the last P from the marketing mix ethical issues is promotion. Promotion also includes advertising and branding. So promotion is the communication link between sellers and buyers for the purpose of influencing, informing, or persuading a potential buyer's purchasing decision. It also differentiates the product by branding for the competition. And then ethical issues in advertising is puffery. Puffery is exaggerated or false praise of the product, often happen in advertising. Also promoting unhealthy product, subliminal advertising, and deceptive advertising.
And now we're going to talk about sustainability. First thing first is what is sustainability and why is it important? When it comes to business, sustainability actually means that a firm that has minimal negative impact or potentially a positive effect. Most organizations today measure business success using the traditional bottom line, which is profitability. However, sustainable businesses take 2 other bottom lines into consideration, which is natural capital and social capital. Today, many believe that sustainability is no longer an option. It's necessary, and it's really simple. All of the things we need today or in the future to maintain life as we know, it depends on the natural resources of our planet, such as air, water, or mineral resources or that we mine. Today, our Earth population grows at a staggering rate. That means that there will be more demand and thus creating even greater levels of unsustainable consumption. And that's why, next, sustainability is a sensible business decision. Sustainability itself fits with the concept of marketing, which is identifying and satisfying consumer needs to ensure the organization long-term profitability, and thus the long-term future of society is one of the keys to make sure of a firm's long-term success. The number of firms moving toward greater sustainability by increasing operational efficiencies, decreasing use of raw materials, conserving energy, and a lot of more keeps on increasing, such as in the US, there are General Mills who stopped using genetically modified organism, or GMO for short, crops in Cheerios. IKEA launched an ad campaign in the UK to get consumers to swap light bulbs for LEDs to save energy. And next. Now we're going to talk about developing a sustainable marketing mix. There are target marketings and the 4 Ps. The first one is target marketing strategies. Marketers need to understand that the attitudes of their customers towards sustainability-focused goods and services. What it means that what is the potential market for sustainability-focused goods and services? What products will consumers be likely to purchase and what will they not? They can successfully target green customers, those customers who are most likely to actively look for and buy products that are eco-friendly. And then there is product strategies. Sustainable product strategies include the production of more environmentally friendly products while also understanding how consumers use, store, and dispose of products. And then there's price strategies. Many consumers would like to buy green products, but they don't because the price is higher than regular products. A truly sustainable firm will drop their green products prices to encourage less waste. And then there's place strategies. Sustainable distribution strategies can include retailers who focus on a reduction in the use of energy by choosing nearby suppliers in order to reduce pollution caused by transportation. And finally, there is promotion strategies. Sustainable promotion strategies are those that inform customers of the firm's commitment to the planet and the future generations. Some firms have begun to reuse old commercials while letting customers know that there is the way of practicing sustainability. Next. And then there's sustainable customer behavior. A sustainability approach doesn't end with the improvement in manufacturing process. Marketers also need to understand what will motivate customers to seek out, pay for, and use sustainable options. We as customers can also pick firms that doesn't test on animals, who promote sustainability in a great way in order to encourage other firms to make their sustainability better. And next. Finally, we're going to talk about the sustainability metrics. Sustainability metrics measure the benefits an organization achieves through sustainability. Unfortunately, unlike financial metrics, there is no standardized method of measuring the other 2 elements of the triple bottom line, which is social and environmental. Hence, it is extremely hard to compare one company to another. Nonetheless, here are the 5 examples of fairly common sustainability metrics. The first one is material intensity. It is pounds of material wasted per unit of organizational output. And then there is energy intensity. Net fuel energy in BTUs consumed to provide organizational heat and power requirements. And then there is water consumption. It measures the gallons of fresh water consumed per unit of organizational output. And then there's toxic emissions. It counts the pounds of toxic materials emitted in the process of creating organizational output. And finally, there's a pollutant or greenhouse gas emissions. It is the pounds of pollutants emitted in the process of creating organizational output. And thank you. That is all for support from us.
And if you guys have a question, you can leave the question on the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching and thank you for your attention.
Thank you guys.